These are Connecticut cold cases from 1952 to 2019. Before we go over the cold cases, please make sure that you're following the channel. You give this video a like and you share it out. It not only helps the channel, but it helps spread awareness on these cases. Also, please forgive me for any names that I may mispronounce. Connie Smith disappeared from Salsbury on July 16, 1952. She was 10 years old. She would now be 81. She was 5 foot, weighed 85 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 860-626-1820. Raymond Carey Jr. disappeared from Hartford on October 25, 1963. He was 16 years old. He would now be 77. He was 5'6" and weighed 130 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 860-242-5501. Deborah Lee Spickler disappeared from Vernon on July 24, 1968. She was 13 years old. She would now be 69. She was 5'5" and weighed 125 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 860-872-9126. Irene LaRosa disappeared from Ellington on March 1, 1971. She was 17 years old. She would now be 71. She was 5'3" and weighed 110 pounds, with brown hair and green eyes. Any information, call 609-652-3705. Janice Pocket disappeared from Tolan on July 26, 1973. She was 7 years old. She would now be 58. She was 4 foot, weighed 65 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 860-685-8000. Lisa Joy White disappeared from Vernon on November 1, 1974. She was 13 years old. She would now be 63. She was 5 foot, weighed 110 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 860-872-9126. Maria Anaris disappeared from Norwick on February 12, 1976. She was 14 years old. She would now be 62. She was 5'6" and weighed 120 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 203-854-3000. Samuel Bird disappeared from East Haven on June 1, 1977. He was 14 years old. He would now be 65. He was 5'9" and weighed 170 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 203-946-6304. Giovanna Crawford disappeared from Bridgeport on June 5, 1981. She was only 1 year old. She would now be 44. She was 2'1" and weighed 30 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 203-576-7671. Doreen Vincent disappeared from Wallingford on June 15, 1988. She was 12 years old. She would now be 48. She was 5'4" and weighed 110 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. Any information, call 203-294-2800. Maricela Pino disappeared from Waterbury on March 20, 1993. She was 11 years old. She would now be 42. She was 4'5" and weighed 85 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 203-574-6941. April Pennington disappeared from Uncasville on May 29, 1996. She was 15 years old. She would now be 43. She was 5'2" and weighed 100 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. Any information, call 860-866-6603. Rosa Camacho disappeared from Hartford on October 24, 1997. She was 4 years old. She would now be 31. She was 3 foot and weighed 38 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 860-527-6300. Andrea Reyes disappeared from New Haven on October 5, 1999. She was only 1 year old. She would now be 26. She was 3 foot and weighed 30 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 203-946-6316. Bianca LeBron disappeared from Bridgeport on November 7, 2001. She was 10 years old. She would now be 32. She was 4'11" and weighed 115 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. Any information, call 203-576-7671. Griselda Aguirre disappeared from Hartford on July 30, 2008. She was 14 years old. She would now be 30. She was 5'4" and weighed 140 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 860-757-4000. Angel Garcia disappeared from Hartford on October 21, 2011. He was 19 years old. He would now be 32. He was 5'8" and weighed 180 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 860-757-4000. Vanessa Morales disappeared from Ansonia on November 29, 2019. She was only 1 year old. She would now be 5. She was 2'2" and weighed 17 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 203-735-1885. If you have any information on any of these missing persons, please call the number listed with their case.